I'm sipping, 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 I'm sipping.
Sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping. Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
This is Sipping with Sammy. I am Mr. Fly Shit Only, the one and only Sipping with Sammy. Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammy, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together.
It's always live. It's always live.
Damn, Sammy, you done. Damn, Sammy, you done. Damn, Sammy, you done. Damn, Sammy, you done. Damn, Sammy, damn, Sammy, damn, Sammy.
Yep! What's up with y'all, man? Happy Monday. Happy hour. All that flyness. We are now live. If you tapped in live, please feel free to hit the chat up, man. Let us know what you think. Got some topics. We got some banter, so forth and so on. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let somebody know we here. We're going to be here for a couple. We're going to have a good time. And we'll be right back at y'all like we never left another week from now. So hopefully everybody had a good day. Good Monday. I don't believe in the Monday blues or none of that. I don't really go by all that. Every day ends in Y. It's a day. Get out of bed. Get on with it. Try to reach your goals and be a better you than you was yesterday. But I know for some of y'all that's a struggle. So hopefully y'all had a good one, man. Hopefully y'all had a good one. We got Kay from Font Productions in the situation with us.
Yo.
How you feeling tonight?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm decent, man. I'm decent. I knocked something off my to-do list today that I was worried about, and I feel good about it. It was a small thing, but it was major to me. Because after work, I usually don't get to run around with so much before I got to do this thing right here.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to sponsor. You going to bring up the joint real quick?
Yes.
One time for the one time. We got to show love to the sponsor real quick. And then we can get into the weekend re-kizzle. Maybe I'll remember what I did. This is Sippin' with Sammy, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug here with Rich Jewels, the official sponsor of the Sippin' with Sammy podcast. Tap in with Rich Jewels, male or female jewelry, black owned, small business. Tap in with Rich Jewels, Sippin' with Sammy approves. It's always tragic to go from that to looking at my hair now. Like, all right. Anyway.
I didn't know that bothered you so
go
much.
right back to me, like in my regular state. I ain't even know tight like I was. I'm decent though. We good out here in these streets. Streets. Guess we gotta start with the weekend recap. You wanna recap your weekend?
Yeah, let me finish this text first.
Oh, you texting something.
Yeah, I'm still technically working.
Okay, well keep working. What did I do this weekend? I know I got a couple of episodes filmed. We got a couple of episodes filmed. Shout out to that. Some dope, fun joints. I got Namo Bars came through.
Uh-huh.
Ace the Chemist came through. Mike Geyser. And we got to chop it up. I got to catch up with Namo. I hadn't seen him in a month of Sundays, literally. You know what I mean? And somebody that I used to see and catch energy from on a regular basis. So it was dope to see my guy, man, for real. Saturday, nothing. Damn, that's what happened. I'm like, when didn't we go? That was Thursday that we went to the movie premiere, right?
Yeah, we should start there.
I gotta start at Thursday. That's why I'm like, hold up. We went to the premiere, but it wasn't this weekend. All right, it was Thursday. So shout out to Razor, man, RA certified, and everybody affiliated with the gang. Went to go see a brand new release from RA Certified by the name of Ganja.
Yep.
So, you know, I was all in that, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's about the Ganja. We gonna go check out the Ganja. But shout out to him. Shout out to Red Snapper. Shout out to Team Danger Zone. Red Snapper was hosting. She was on the red carpet right beside us. We had a great time. They actually had a sold-out situation, so let's make some noise
packed.
for that.
I gotta be honest, it was packed in that theater.
Shout out to C's for helping with the technicals and the audio bed of the movie. From what he said, everything was pretty dope. It was a dope concept.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how they built it. I liked the pacing of it. I liked the acting in it. I think it was really fire. I think it was well executed. I met a handful of the actors. I knew a few more of them that was in the film, and everybody that I met, I really enjoyed what they added to the situation, and I enjoyed them in person. some really dope young ladies that I got to speak to on the red carpet, and we actually wound up sitting next to one in the audience. And they was just awesome people, man. So shout out to everybody that was a part of that. And congratulations again on selling out. You got any feedback?
I thought it was great. I thought the framing of the shots and the actual like photography style that was used was great. It was very intentional, and you know, it looked very professional, and I was happy with that. Definitely one of the best movies I've seen this year so far.
Yeah, it was definitely fire. One thing that I thought was lit was, because I'm in a group message and all of that, they are having another one by popular demand because so many people missed that joint.
Wow.
And a lot of people, they said, actually bought tickets, and I guess it wasn't so many people because it was still packed, but thought that it was Friday.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And then it's even people in the chat like, yo, you doing it on my folks' birthday, but I'm going to buy a ticket so you can give it to somebody. So they going to do one or maybe two more live private screening type situations.
That's awesome.
And then it's going to Tubi, I believe.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, congratulations. That's dope as hell. Like, I don't know if y'all... We was on 69th Street. Them ain't small theaters.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Beautiful black folks in green all over the place, man. It was nice to see.
Yep.
I even had on green. I didn't even know that was the dress code, but I came in yet I was scazy. I was good.
Always.
I was good.
Always.
Absolute lies. Shout out to Poker. I had that paper made tee on, you know what I mean? MSU style. But yeah, that was definitely fire. I saw a lot of good basketball. I saw a great ending. We saw that Kyrie shot. That was fucking phenomenal. But not really too much to brag about on the weekend that I could think of. I think I had a chill weekend.
There you go.
Yeah. So shout out to that. You worked all weekend? What did you do?
No, I had a mostly chill weekend. On Saturday, I did go to the Espresso Martini Crawl in Northern Liberties.
How was that?
Oh my God, it was so crowded everywhere.
An espresso martini crawl. So all the businesses made espresso martinis, and y'all went around and seen who had the best one?
Yeah, that's the idea. I only went to one place because it was that crowded. There were lines and waits at every restaurant in Northern Liberties.
How was it? What were they priced at? Was it a price point? Was it a ticket? How would it go?
They were between 8 and 12. So not bad, not bad.
No, that's perfect.
And if you don't know, espresso martini is one of my favorite cocktails. So I was very pleased with the espresso martinis that I did have.
Where's the K-Cam?
Oh, my bad. You know I hate the K-Cam. But yeah, it was fun. Besides the fact that it was very crowded, and I don't even think everybody was out there for espresso martinis. Everybody was wearing green.
Yeah, it was St. Patrick's Day.
And I got out there and I was like, oh my God, it's St. Patrick's Day. I forgot that this was even really a thing.
A thing. See, look at you. Slipping.
And there were so many people everywhere. I had to field so many complaints this morning just about trash and trash cans overflowing. It was not fun.
Tell him you still hungover. You deal with it later. Oh, never mind.
I don't have that luxury. It's my job to clean up after St. Patrick's Day.
And
so.
even if you did tell him, I wasn't supposed to say it on live anyway. My bad. I'm going to start a kerfuffle.
No, all the trash cans have been serviced at this time. So we're in good shape now in the Fishtown district.
Damn, Sammy, you done fucked.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's cool. Glad that you enjoyed. Mad that you only stopped at one spot on a crawl. You like a whole lane. Your dad would have been disappointed.
Well, I was supposed to work it. I was supposed to take the judges around and help like organize their presentations of cocktails, and unfortunately I had to work other things that day, but I did make it to one place for a couple of cocktails.
I'm about to say, I don't know what that means, but I'll leave it alone on the live stream. Solid. What do we have on the... I don't see any topics on the puppy. So you're killing my transition game right now.
Topics on the puppy.
All right, so Bruno Mars, we can start with that. Now, what was it? MGM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it was reported that Bruno Mars owed 50 million. I don't even know why that says 50K. It was 50 million in gambling debt. And the thing was, Bruno has a residency out there with them for 90 million. But when the report dropped, another report dropped and said the title was so they basically own him now. Something to that effect. So it's like, damn, how long has Bruno Mars had a gambling problem, and how do you get the 50 million? And then I watched Shannon Sharp, and I watched Ocho talk about it. And Ocho was kind of like irate about the fact that the casino would let you lose $50 million. But I'm like, shit, if they owe you 90, they down to break even. You know what I mean? But then right before we went on air, I saw that it was reported that the MGM Grand said that that is not true.
So it was a fake headline?
I don't know where it came from, but it was on major platforms. It was on all the platforms. But they reported that it's not true. And I mean, maybe it was true and they just, they don't handle business like that. But as far as we could say, because it was a topic for this evening, but like literally 20 minutes before we went on air, I saw that they had an official statement saying that there was not true that he owes them $50 million. So let's just hope that that's facts and that Bruno is not losing his mind out here, man, because he's a hell of a talent. I think Bruno is more talented than people really realize that aren't like Bruno Mars fans. Because like he plays multiple instruments, he has a big range of types of music he can make. Mm-hmm. And his pen is crazy. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people really realize that. I think they look at his biggest records and just be like, oh, that's what he do. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, he do a little bit of everything. Like, somebody said they ain't like Bruno music. I said, listen to that first album by Pool Bar. Listen to it at the pool bar. You won't skip a song. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm going to leave Bruno alone because as far as we know, he don't owe 50 million. So thank God for that, right?
Yeah.
No thoughts? Nothing? Not even a titter?
I mean, I feel like by the time I knew that this was the thing, it wasn't a thing. So I don't really have anything to say.
No problem. Fonnie Willis decision. You been keeping up?
I've read headlines. I haven't been following closely. But give me the summary. What's going on?
So they decided that she could still stay on the Trump case, right?
Yes. That's what I saw.
But they decided that her and the gentleman that she had the relationship with being on it together was going to be inappropriate. So he immediately resigned from the case. He immediately pulled himself from the case. But the bigger question is, like, this is going to go somewhere. Lawyers going to have time to pick and, like, is it even wise for her to stay on the case? Basically.
Yeah, that's the headline I saw today is like people questioning whether she is still credible as an attorney.
And she did get, I guess, I don't want to call it a slap on the wrist, but the judge acknowledged that she was wrong for that speech she gave in the church that was painting Trump as a racist.
So this is the thing about district attorneys, okay? It's an elected political position. But at the same time, it's in the court system, so it's supposed to be impartial and fair and, whatever else. But I've always seen, and maybe this is just my Philadelphia bias showing, but I've always seen the district attorney position played out in a very political way. So I honestly, I didn't see this as that big of a deal in general. This was just politicians politicking. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious, do you feel differently about that?
About when it refers to the speech?
Yeah, yes, mostly the speech. I took that as politicians politicking.
Yeah, I feel like if it wasn't a case on the level that it was, that wouldn't be such a big deal anyway. I feel like it would have been looked at for what we basically assumed that it was. Yeah, like I guess you put it best, politicking. Like when the politicians not going to black churches, it said edgy things about people that they was against.
Right.
Like that's always been a thing in the black when you go to the black church. You got to talk some shit. You better have some hot sauce in your purse, right, Hillary?
And it makes me wonder, like, if she wasn't a black woman, like, would she be held to this same standard? Could she show a little more snark? Like, because that's also, it's part of being an attorney, like, knowing when to turn that on, knowing how to control public perception of everything.
Well, a lot of these cases are fought in the court of public opinion, as Charlamagne says all the time. Like, to a certain extent, you can't ignore what's going on in media because it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
You can't garner 12 people, put them in a hotel, and they don't see nothing, or they haven't seen something already before you even rounded them up. Like, it's kind of crazy nowadays how the judicial system is going to be forced to work, or the scrutiny that is going to be under based on lack of control of stories.
Yeah, and I mean, especially since, like, if you're one of those people who doesn't know what's going on at this point, are you really educated and, like, in tune enough to be able to evaluate these decisions? And I'm not even talking specifically about the Trump case. I'm talking about a lot of high-profile cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I agree. It's a weird...
It's a bad space, especially because the courts aren't getting any younger.
Yeah.
They're not getting any younger. These judges is not letting go. Supreme Court is all over 80. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't even think that you are. I think they're all over 70 at least.
yeah, I was about to say, but I believe that the black woman that was added to the Supreme Court
Just recently.
yeah, she's not 80.
No,
she
she might be
70.
in her 60s or 70s.
Yeah, but I didn't want to. I thought of her as soon as I said it. I was like, all right, maybe it's a couple I'm not thinking of. But that's the biggest problem, because even if certain decisions are made, when it goes to the highest courts, those decisions are made by people that don't even keep up with the times.
Yeah.
They don't even understand that weed is legal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like...
Also, like, do lifetime appointments really make sense nowadays when we're living to, like, 105 and, like, living with dementia and things of that nature on a
In
regular
any
basis?
position.
Like, this just...
In any position.
Yeah, like, we have actual scientific studies that show how much brain function declines once you get to a certain age and how rapidly.
I always thought, and I'm sure this wasn't the original thought. I probably heard somebody make reference to it and then thought more about it. But I've always thought that you shouldn't really be allowed to be a career politician. You shouldn't be allowed to work your way from the bottom up through the pipeline, because you can't come out of it clean. Like, you're gonna owe somebody something, and it's gonna change what you, because you got to do something to get there.
See, my issue with that, though, is in order to be able to, like, actually accomplish things in governmental systems, you need to have relationships. And if there's so much constant turnover, you'll never get those relationships to be able to actually work across the aisle.
But
People are just, especially in today's age, everybody's so polarized, they're just going to come in and be like, no, I'm not working with any Republican, or vice versa. Like, it's...
But it starts to feel like, even when you start talking about vote locally and who's in your local situation. Remember on The Wire, like, everybody was at a certain position, but we was cool till we all wanted to be mayor. But ultimately, we just wanted to be mayor anyway. We didn't want to do this. We had to do this to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So are you even taking the job that you in seriously? Are you even doing that to the best of your ability? Or are you just going places with $500 plates?
I mean, I've definitely seen both.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
I've definitely seen both.
it becomes weird. And I mean, there's plenty of professionals, plenty of intellects, plenty of people that you could plug and play in certain positions. I know certain things you got to have some kind of stability and baseline of time, but then we start adjusting tenure to where it's not lifetime appointers, and that fixes some of that. Especially because, just like any other thing, when somebody take over, they start appointing their own regime. If you get to hold it down forever, then nothing changes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So where do you think we're gonna go from here with this case in particular? Do you think that she's gonna stay on?
Something in me says they're gonna have to really force her not to. I don't know which way that'll go, but I don't think she plans on going anywhere.
I mean, it's possible they could bring in a replacement partner that takes more of the spotlight lead in dealing with press.
And that's what I was about to say. She might just lose the lead. She might lose. She might not be the captain no more, so to speak. But I think they're already at a disadvantage because they lost a couple charges. But I'm understanding that they can be reintroduced if they're introduced properly or with more information behind them. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the strongest cases that anybody had against 45. So this is one of them joints where it's like they don't really want to fumble this one. So we'll see how it goes, man. I ain't no politician, and I don't really believe with so much in fairness in the law. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I somewhat feel like we're in a race now too.
What kind of race you talking about?
So like there's a race to see whether we can get to some sort of like guilty verdict before elections, before November.
Yeah, that's the thing, because one thing that you know about Homeboy is his lawyers always delay.
Right.
And there's nothing, this is literally unprecedented. So there's nothing on the books that stops him from being the Republican nominee or winning. If something don't fall down that says he's guilty of some shit that stops that.
Well, and in all
Like
previous cases of like some sort of issue, they didn't do active like in the media investigations during election seasons.
Right.
So
But they forced this to happen before election. This could have started later.
Right. I mean, this started early enough that you can't say that this started during election season. Like all of these charges
was intentional.
Yeah, they've been being put together since.
Which is probably
January
how they lost
6th.
those few charges that they lost. They probably had to rush some shit.
Yeah.
They probably had a faulty package.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but
But
yeah.
can you imagine, like, just like walking down the thought process? If this doesn't happen before elections,
Mm-hmm.
Trump wins the way that the polls say that he's going to. And then we have an active trial of our sitting.
Oh no, you wouldn't have an active thing. No, not a damn
President.
thing. You wouldn't have an active nothing. Are you crazy? He gonna shut it down, or the courthouse gonna disappear. What are you talking about? He not playing. He already told y'all, I ain't gonna be a tyrant except my first day. He gonna cut out. Ain't nothing going on. You try, man. He ain't gonna turn this into OJ. It's over.
God, this is absolutely bonkers.
It's over. It's over now. Move over. It's a thing, man.
We're gonna be the laughingstock of the world.
We already are. Already are. But let's get off of this because it's depressing me.
Yeah, I agree.
Michael B. Jordan said that he's lonely. Thought this would be entertaining. Ain't that the world's most sexiest man?
So they say.
He's such a fucking nice guy that he's just gonna be lonely. You ain't got to be lonely, brother. Anyway. Did you hear anything about this story, or did I spring this one on you too?
You sprung this one on me a little bit too.
So, what he was saying is, with his schedule,
Okay.
and lifestyle and things that he has to sacrifice to be great,
Hopping from movie to movie.
directing,
Traveling around.
shucking, jiving,
Yeah.
And undertone since Lori,
Right.
he hasn't been able to really find anybody that, one, can adapt to that, and two, that he doesn't feel like he's not, being neglectful of too, at the same time, right? So where there's that understanding, and he, like most men want to be excited enough to shut some shit down or to take that 5 minutes to call you real quick when they got 7 minutes. You know what I mean? So I guess he hasn't found that. He needs his Babs Bunny. But
So he decides to invite the entire world to slide into his DMs.
he tells everybody. But that's what, when I said he's such a nice guy, that was the sarcasm in it. Because it's like, you really just told the world, you know, I'm lonely. Like, nigga, cut it out, man. But whatever. I guess he's a wholesome brother. Wholesome. And he needs Mrs. Right
He's been
now.
in that Marvel world too long.
Man, listen. You better find who something in Wakanda. There was some things running around there with the Angela Bassett on and the fatty. Was you crazy? You better get you one. Man, white boy done scooped up. What's her name? They on the beach looking great together. Real rap,
Lupita?
man. Yeah. She
Joshua Jackson.
She looked like she'd fold him in half and he can't wait.
That's his type too.
I don't know his history.
Oh, he just broke up with a baddie. Or just divorced. I shouldn't say break up. They were married. Like, this was a legitimate thing.
Yeah, you weren't trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
But I just think that there's a possibility that Michael B. Jordan being lonely is a load of fooey. Bull blacky.
You know what? In his defense, I'm sure being famous and in his position, you can't trust a lot of people, so you have a lot of superficial relationships. So, like, I'm sure he's getting laid plenty. I have no doubt. But
I can see him not though, and not on no good guy shit, but just like it's dangerous as hell for somebody in his position to be, you know, on a random hunt.
yeah,
And that shit is draining, yo. Playing the game is draining. And being in the game that he's in at the level that he's in as a black man, like I always refer to when before Kevin Hart got into the scandal with his wife, which is some relationship shit. That's not even no like nothing you can judge a person's character on in reality. But before that happened, they was like, Kev, how you manage to stay so clean out here? You don't ever get into no trouble. We'll never hear you in no bullshit. And Kev said, because I'm scared to death.
mm-hmm.
He said, I'm scared to death. He said, I'm joking, but I'm not. He said, because look at everybody that was in my position before me.
Yeah.
So, even since the thing with his wife, which has smoothed out, they still together, happily married, it seems, you know, from what we can see. Beautiful family. All you heard about since then was a car accident and a movie he put out when you saw him talk bad to his personal trainer that he's with every day. So it's like, I think you under that kind of scrutiny when you at that level, and I think Michael B, because he jumped into the Marvel universe, and you know what I mean, he has the same amount of scrutiny. I think that it's possible that he's just falling back.
Yeah.
Falling back. He might be practicing retention or something, you know, meditating and all that.
Well, I wish him luck. You know, I hope he finds what he's looking for.
Oh,
Whatever
man.
that may be.
The funny thing is that people have always joked about him because one thing, if you date one white girl, they think you only date white girls.
Mm-hmm.
And two, the Lori Harvey situation and how, you know what I mean? A lot of people ain't even really believe they was together. And then when they broke up, it's the analyzation of how he took it or whatever have you. But it's like, he running his race like similar to her. You know what I mean? He's handsome, he's wealthy, he's outside, but I guess he been staying indoors lately. Maybe he got a cabin. Anyway, let me stop fucking with him. Tyson versus Paul.
Yes.
Oh, you're excited.
I am.
Why are you excited about this one?
I think it's going to be a very entertaining night. It's not so much about the fight for me.
I'm trying to figure out where you going with this.
Not so much about the fight for me, because I don't really want to see Tyson fight at this age at all. And I really think that, like, Paul is not one to be played with. But that being said, I think with these two teaming up on a card, the promotion behind it is going to be hilarious. The night itself is just going to be a huge spectacle.
Absolutely.
Everybody's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that I'm excited about.
Oh, so this like an award show for you?
Yeah, I'm treating this like an award show in my mind.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm wondering who's going to be the, like, intro songs for folks, who's going to walk out with who. Like, that's the part that I'm interested in.
Yeah, who gonna walk Tyson out?
Right.
Or what he gonna walk out
What's he
to?
going to walk out to? Who's going to be, like, the performance after the... Because you know there's going to be some sort of musical performance at this.
Yeah, yeah. It's always is at these drums.
Yeah, so, like, who's going to be the acts? What's the rest of the card going to look like?
I want to know the stipulations because I heard some joints that I ain't like, and then I heard it was bullshit.
I haven't seen anything announced officially yet.
Like, I want to know what size gloves, headgear, no headgear, if any punches is off limits other than regular. On the low, I know we won't be able to find out, but since it's exhibition, does it have to go a certain amount of rounds before anything really, you know what I mean, final happens? Like, I just want to know what's going to go on because, like I said before, man, Tyson looked great. Instincts and, you know, everything looked like they're still there. I just don't know how many rounds of that is going to happen. And I know that Paul could really fight now. Like, he's learning and learning and learning. He's a big young boy, and Tyson ain't that big. So this could be interesting.
I think for Tyson, it's going to come down to stamina and just, like, purely whether he can keep up.
But is he allowed to knock him out, or does Tyson even know the difference? Like, can Tyson throw that jaw to pull it back? You know what I'm saying? Like, once it's going, is it going? Like, if Paul Lanny square in his chops, bam, and he catch a flashback, do he not? Oh, shit, this
No, I think
exhibition.
when Tyson is in the ring, he's in the ring.
Yeah,
like,
I think he a dog.
Like, I see this getting bloody.
And he said he fight better when he smoke weed, and you know he gonna be smoking weed for this one because he allowed to.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Now, Tyson is known to cut the ring off, get up inside of you when you got the reach. So
I was going to say, I mean, even physically, though, like, Jake is bigger
yeah,
in terms of
considerably.
size and reach. Like, considerably bigger.
That's one of the arguments I've heard. We've seen a lot of fights with Tyson knocking people out, but watch when he fights people that are bigger than him that can fight, and it's a little different. And they made me think about it, and yeah, it's true. Even back in the day, that was a thing. But this is still a Paul. I'm not going to give up on a Tyson for a Paul. That's all I'm saying. I got to rock with a Tyson over a Paul all day in the hood.
I don't think I'm betting on this one.
I mean, what's the prize? Like, what it look like? I might got a little dubski, maybe even nifty for you. Maybe even a nifty. What's the date on this? Google that. Look that up for me, please.
Okay.
But yeah, I might want to bet something. Shit, I might even be out there to do it. My damn sure.
July 20th.
July 20th.
Yes, you got time.
Yeah, man. And we gonna find out what the other antics is. They got plenty of rollout time for all of that stuff that you was talking about. So yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah.
We might be super hyped by then because people already on it. Everybody talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
It's the return of the boy that used to wear the towel, you know what I'm saying, with the all black boots or the, yeah. My guy, man. My guy, Michael. I love him more now than I did then, but watching him as a fighter was crazy growing up. Like, I really remember people being like, I'm not buying pay-per-views no more because by the time I get my chicken wings, the fight over. Like, it was bad. It used to get bad. But, let's do Ocho Cinco URL. Ocho Cinco! My nigga. Now, Twiggy, you about to go in a cage because I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Anyway. Okay, we good?
Yep.
So we know that for those that don't know, Ocho Cinco was on Nightcap with Shannon Sharp, and he mentioned battle rap, and he called out the battle rappers and said, "Yeah, I could beat this one, I could beat that one." He named Lux and some other folks, and I actually had watched that clip in real time. Like not the Instagram clip, like the whole 12 minutes of him talking shit.
Right.
And shortly thereafter, Lux pops up on Nightcap. So Lux come through. As soon as he get on there, they introduce him, and Lux come with bars. And Lux is giving him some flips and some bars that's like, God damn it, this is why you are Lux. And then Ocho did a little half a freestyle, laughed it off, like he's been known to do. But the conversation continued to Ocho saying that he feels like these are some of the most talented guys in the world and that they deserve more money, more light, more attention. They need to be on the biggest platforms, and he just wanted to create a way on his platform to do such. And by the end of the conversation, Shannon Sharp had said, well, we're going to put something together, and we're going to get whatever battle rappers Ocho picks out or agree to go along, and they're going to get paid well, and they're going to probably have some prize money on the table and all that. He's going to take care of all of that, is what Shannon Sharp said. Mm-hmm. And that they would do it on his network more than likely, if that was what would make the most sense, because the most eyes are there, besides, you know, the obvious, right?
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was dope. I'm like, just as a gesture, just as those two guys co-signing this gentleman that came on there and represented itself well, like, I think that gets overlooked too. Mm-hmm. Lux is a gentleman. When Lux talks, he's gracious, he's well-spoken, you know what I mean? And to be somebody that comes from a bravado sport, not just hip-hop, but battle rap, he represents it well. He's a good elder statesman or a good ambassador for the sport, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that gets overlooked. I think we take that for granted because there's quite a few people, I'm sure, that watch Nightcap that said, well, damn, Lux still around? Or who's this Lux guy, right?
Right.
And what's going on in battle rap? And then to follow up, Volume 11 was this week, URL Volume 11, and Ocho popped up and supported and did interviews with Hip Hop is Real, 15 Minutes of Fame, shook hands, kissed babies, battled DNA and Clips, all freestyles off the top of the head, was a great sport about it. And I just want to, first of all, do this for him.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think people understand what his mission is. Like, Ocho talk a lot of shit, but Ocho for his folk, and he's for making money and not spending money. So when he come around and he's talking about these guys with such admiration at the level that he's at, he has a bigger voice than he's ever had, and he's been a component of battle rap for quite a while. He's always championed battle rap. He even battled DNA a while back in like a parking lot at a hotel. I think they just happened to be in the same hotel that day. It was a battle. But like, I think that I just respect it so much. I think it's dope. What do you think?
I think it's awesome. My only thing I'll say that's negative is I hope that this stays about the talent and doesn't become URL controlled.
I think that what he's trying to provide an alternative to, because he don't like to ruffle feathers, he don't like to down talk nobody. I think part of this motivation is when Smack said there's not no more money coming out like that.
Right.
I think that he's trying to provide an alternative. So I think that's why even when I said it, I said they said who he picked or who would be, you know, able to do it or, you know, would want to do it. Because we don't know who could cross those lines. You know what I mean? And say, yeah, it's just Ocho. Like, Smack might not like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But because, you know, like, he did go on URL, showed his presence on there and all that.
Right, right.
But Remy did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true.
And I think that's where we keep forgetting, like, no, Remy was there too, doing the same thing.
I wonder if Ocho and Remy have a relationship.
Interesting. The only reason I don't think so is because it hasn't come up yet as much as he's been mentioning these things. I think he would have brought her on. He did say he gonna bring DNA on I think Nightcap too though.
That's great.
That was part of his freestyle
I mean, that's great.
on the battle. So I think that'll be dope too. DNA's well deserving and also a great ambassador for the sport. Cause we got some loose cannons in battle rap, but like
Absolutely.
it's certain dudes that really I think represent the brand well outside of the antics that the brand calls for.
Yeah. But I love that Ocho Cinco is interested in like, trying to get it done.
I think it's genuine, and I think that battle rappers and see this is the thing about the ones that's like against it or not really appreciating it. Y'all been telling us for years that our favorite athletes is y'all biggest fans and they know who y'all are and they respect y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once in a while, you had Gerald McCoy put his money where his mouth is. Now you got Chad trying to do something similar. So I just think it's fly, man. And it's more than one way to do it. So I don't know what his plan ultimately is, but if he wants to add light to the situation and not take away from it and let people do what they really do, then I'm all for it, and I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to see Shannon Sharp in between battles reacting. Can you imagine him reacting? He told that boy what? He said what? I think he spit on him too. Shannon be in there going nuts.
Did he just push him?
Oh, you can't shut where I'm from. You shut, you Ocho. Oh, Ocho. Now Like, he be in there going crazy. I need him to commentate. Man, I need it. Oh, man, give me a Shannon Sharp and Ocho and a Jay Black, and I'm Gucci.
But here's the other thing, though. We keep talking about esports being the next frontier for sports and things like that. Like, you could throw battle rap into that commentary. There's no reason why battle rap can't transition over to being treated as a sport and talked about on sports networks.
I think gatekeeping is probably more prominent in battle rap than it is in most things. And I think that the potential of the sport has actually been stagnated by the people at the top's agenda. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true. Both things. I would 100% agree. But I think esports had a lot of its own challenges to overcome before being accepted as like a sporting platform.
Mm-hmm. I would compare it to the UFC though. I wouldn't compare it to esports. UFC got bigger, and bigger. Don't nobody over there make no money but Dana White.
Yeah, that's true.
And then when them motherfuckers leave and box somebody,
I guess
they make a bigger purse than they made their whole career in total. And then like even Paul, we was just talking about Paul. Paul been advocating for UFC fighters to get mandatory insurance and better pay for a long time. Dana White hates him.
Do you think that in both these cases it's something that's tough to sell to sponsors?
I think yes. I mean, there's a certain kind of sponsor, and then there's a certain business model that has to line up with the sponsor. I think that there's a lot of money. Like, there's sponsorships that'll come that will be silent sponsors. Like, they'll you know what I mean? It's weird. But, like, it's similar to when Eminem was big, when Eminem was blowing up. With his image, he couldn't be in a McDonald's commercial. He couldn't be in a Sprite commercial. You see what I'm saying? It would have took away from his draw. So I think that UFC and battle rap are very similar to that, where it's like you got to be very careful about what you pick up and what they require. We are in the age of Reebok dropping Rick Ross for something he said in a rap. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it's very niche when it comes to sponsorships because there's plenty of people that's going to give up dollars and a lot of people going to want control with them dollars to a certain extent. And that's something that you can't do to battle rap. Battle rap started when you can get shot over stuttering. Like, it would never work that way. So, yeah, it's very similar to a lot of stuff. But I think that the biggest point is there's a Dana White at the top of it. And there's a lot of similar leagues and a lot of people doing the same thing. But at the top of this thing, there's a Dana White. and there's a standard, and there's a limit, and there's a we not going past there. So nobody else has to go past there either. They're not even expected to. We don't know how far we can go. Try and catch up to something that's controlled. That's my opinion. Shout out to C Cash. It's my geyser. Did you hear Cardi B's new record?
I don't think I listened to the whole thing. I heard a little snippet of it.
Think she got the energy back?
From what I heard, it sounded like Cardi. You know? It sounded like Cardi.
I'm excited that she's putting stuff out, and that I watched the Gillian Wallow interview, and she was actually saying that the next thing coming out is a project. Like, no matter what, she dropping a project next. The project is coming and all of that. But what I found interesting is for the last few years, every time she's spoken publicly and people have asked her about her music, she kept saying that she's having hard times finding beats, finding a vibe. She doesn't want to rap to a lot of stuff. She's under a lot of pressure because of the success of her prior music. And it's like, that really went against everything that I think people love about Cardi.
Right.
Like, we love the fact that you just do you and everybody gets along with it. Like, oh shit, that's popping. You know what I mean? A Kerr almost ruined my life. Like, I hated hearing that shit everywhere I went. And she done brought it back and remixed it on a new record. There's a whole nother hashtag coming. One bitch, two bitch, old bitch, new bitch. None of y'all gonna do shit.
Well, and that's the thing you gotta think about. Like, Cardi's also been dealing with a lot. She's been going through a lot of shit.
What do you mean by a lot of shit? While I get some ice.
I mean, she's been dealing with a lot of relationship drama, a lot of public headlines, a lot of accusations, a lot of, you know, different types of things that, as an artist, you can either utilize that or run from it. And I think that Cardi, being the type of artist that she came out as, was very confident and very, you know, fuck everybody, I'm gonna do my shit.
What was that single she had? It wasn't talk, 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 talk. All they do is, what was the joint, man? It was all about everybody being in the headlines. Man, use that shit, man. Pull you a Rihanna and bitch better have my money.
Right.
Man, when I heard bitch better have my money, I was singing that shit like it was a nigga singing this shit. Like, you would have thought, like, man, I was standing next to Rihanna in the bank. Like, give them the vibes, give them the energy while you going through the shit.
Right.
And I know it's hard to get in the mind space to create.
Especially especially as a parent, that's difficult because you're so used to having to, like, turn off your emotions to deal with being a parent and, like, all of that.
This is the problem.
I think that really changed Cardi.
This is the thing, though. The thing is, if you haven't been able to create, like, at all, like, you get in there and you drawing a blank, or what you coming up with is absolute boo-boo, cool. She's made stuff. She's not confident in it. She's possibly, and I'm saying this because of words that she's spoken in she's put this many different ways in a few interviews I've seen her say, and she's actually said it more than one way in the same interview. She's overthinking this shit. She's overthinking it. She's scared to drop a thud. And we've seen Nicki drop 2-3 singles or leaks or whatever at a time before she drops something that caught. Like, this is the age where you just gotta put it out, yo. You gotta put it out. You can't even play the DJ or the radio games like you used to no more. You just gotta put it out.
Yeah.
And I hate that she feels like that about her music. And I hate that the industry has put her in a position to overthink the one thing that I thought that she probably just was using as a release that actually brought her a lot of attention and money, which is music. See what I'm saying? I don't like that for her. So that's my biggest thing. So I hope that this single do what it do and it boosts her or put maybe the label in a position where they push the button or drop another follow-up single or something and get it rolling, because the industry miss Cardi, man. It's a lot of women out here getting their shit off, but ain't nobody Barty. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So good luck to her, but I just don't like that talk, man. People in her camp gotta tell her, stop saying that, yo. Stop saying it. And some of it make it sound like you really just not that, like you a one-dimensional rapper, and I don't think you that either. So be careful. Speaking of music, Buddy, the Dreamville studio rap. Shout out to T-Rel from Back on Fig. He did like a day in a life type interview with Buddy where he met him at the gym in the morning, went to get breakfast, met him back at the studio, and, you know, just interviewed him throughout the day. And it was a good joint. Shout out to T-Rel. Let's make some noise for that. Because I follow the platform, and one thing T-Rel has always said was that he wants to do a lot of different things and a lot of interesting things. And, you know, he never really tells people what it is, but I think these last couple of interviews he's done and the fashion he's done them is an aspect of what he's trying to bring, and I think that they well curated. So I just wanted to give up some noise for that. But if you listen to, remember the Dreamville sessions? Mm-hmm. Remember that was a thing, the golden tickets and all of that shit? Mm-hmm. And everybody being like, damn, everybody over there? Why ain't over there? Who over there? Like all of that. Mm-hmm. Buddy said he went out there because people don't realize Buddy from Compton. But he went out there and he had a room. He said he probably went to his room like once or twice, like to take a shower, freshen up, and change his bag around so he could take what he needed in his bag. And he just stayed at the studio the whole time. So he's all over the project because he was there the whole time, bouncing from room to room to room to room to room to room. And if you know anything about writer camps or situations like that, you're going to put out a lot of shit that you might not know what's going to happen, if anything going to come of it. It might wind up on a cutting room floor type shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of his shit made it. And they was like, so what was you doing? And he was just giving vibes. And that's why, like, it works, I think, because he's not always in the same capacity. He's not rapping on every joint. He's singing on certain joints. He might scat or, you know what I mean? Just add an energy to another joint. And they was talking about the joint with Nipsey. Almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot what I was doing. I was smoking, I was drinking. That joint, I'm just riding through my city. He said that was just a vibe. Like, he put it together, somebody let Nip hear it. But all Nip had to do was rap on it. That whole song was already like that. So that's what he do. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was awesome that, like, we know Buddy is tough. If you know anything about Buddy, we know he's nice. We know he's multi-talented, versatile,
Absolutely.
and all of that shit. But, like, to just have a mindset of just being a gym rat and just being like, man, I'm down here, so much talent over there. I'm not hitting the strip club. I'm not going nowhere to get a grub that ain't going to deliver. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm in there. Whoever in here, I'm vibing with them. It's no funny shit this week. Like, I love that. So I thought that was dope. Which brings me to something else that he talked about. He talked about a wellness retreat.
Okay.
He went to, let me not get it wrong. Let me look it up real quick. But I thought it was interesting. Let me see if I can find it real quick. They live right now. Damn it. Portugal. Yep, he went to Portugal. So he said he went by himself and he went on a spiritual retreat to Portugal. And he talked about doing 5-gram mushrooms and stuff like that. But what I thought was interesting, one, he went by himself.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty interesting because, like, that's literally like just putting yourself out there. You don't know what they expect when you get over there. And then he talked about the levels of what they did there. But one thing he said was it cost him $10,000. And they was like, so you know, you could do shit over here. He said, yeah, I probably could have saved $10,000. I just needed the trip probably. Like,
Sounds about right.
but it's like, how much of these things worth in your life? Is it based on salary? Like, should you spend 10% on wellness, 3% on wellness? What is the level of whatever, and how much of it is bullshit?
I think some people need to spend money just to make that commitment to themselves.
Isolation and all of that.
Yeah, like it's less about
Put the onion all the way up.
it's less about actual dollars and more about, okay, if I spend money on this, I'm committing to following this journey and I'm going to get my money out of it, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just try to do something yourself or do something for free, even if it's like a wellness retreat that's held at your local Y, you're not going to take that as seriously. You're not going to invest as much time into it. You might not even show up to it, even if you sign up.
So poor people just gonna be depressed.
I didn't say that. I didn't say it had to be a lot of money. It could be a small denomination. But that was something I was taught in community engagement. Is like, when you host a workshop, charge $5 for it and make people register ahead of time, because even just having that calendar notification and that register ahead of time makes them feel like they're committed somehow.
Yeah. That makes sense. I've actually heard something similar to that too, about the charging and proud to pay type of things too.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But I just listening to Buddy talk, something that I took from the interview was just like, he's very humble, very introspective, and very aware. But his talent is second nature to him. Like, he knows how to tap into it in a real way that I think people dream of and think that they need to alter their being to do. And he definitely exemplifies that he could do it with or without substance.
I was about to say, I know some people like that, but they usually end up on drugs.
Yeah, so, you know. Anyway, shout out to Buddy. Shout out to T-Rail from Back on Fig. Shout out Smacky and Nim. Heather Nim. Magical Negroes. There's a movie coming out. And I watched the Breakfast Club interview with David Allen Greer. American Society of Magical Negroes. Now, it got a lot of backlash. One, title. Two, the perception of a 30-second trailer that makes it look like these magical Negroes are trying to appease white people. But from the interview, I'm excited to see it because I'm aware of that's not what it was. That's not what it is at all. That was just 30 seconds and y'all ain't see the movie yet. But I thought the term, which grew a lot of attention to, was the magical Negroes part, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize that is a term that was coined by Spike Lee, but was based on characters created by white people. You know what I mean? You following what I'm putting down?
Yeah.
So, for instance, the Green Mile.
Uh-huh.
This magical Negro, this
Do no wrong.
sensational,
Bigger than life.
can prophesize things that nobody can explain. Where did he get this knowledge from? He doesn't have an education.
Yeah.
Where does he get this thing from? And it's in a lot of movies like that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of movies where there's just this random black guy that just knows everything or just leads everything. And there's no rhyme or reason for how this person is 10 times deeper than everybody in his surroundings.
Or like the Black Fairy Godmother
Yeah.
for women.
Yeah. So, like, white Hollywood or white literature has created these magical Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
And Spike Lee coined the phrase years ago, which I guess, the writer and director of this movie is a first-time writer and director. So this is a big deal that it's mainstream enough to even talk about.
That's dope.
And he's black. But
I would hope so.
yes,
Doing this film.
it's very important.
Newsflash, you don't do this film if you're white.
No, and that was part of what the OG was saying. He was like, that was refreshing for me. One, because I like to help new talent and stuff like that, and kind of give him direction on what he deserves and how he's supposed to run. You know, not tell him how to run, but like a lot of times we get in these positions and we get ran over because we don't understand that this is how I work, and I run this shit. You see what I'm saying? So similar to what what's my man name? Vince Staples was saying about the woman that plays his mom on his show. Mm-hmm. He was saying she was doing the same thing for him. So he was saying that was what exciting about it, and plus he didn't want to spend another 6 months or 6 years explaining to white people what black people want, don't want, like or dislike, which is something that happens all the time in Hollywood when they trying to do things for us and towards us. We gotta explain that that's bullshit the whole time.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see it. I just don't want people. I figured I'd bring some light to it because I want people to understand that the title and the trailer was misleading, and that the title was actually made by somebody that we most of us respect, Spike Lee, if not all of us. And the character, the original character that the title was based on, was what white writers actually create on a regular basis to have an out to show how magical black people are for no reason. Because at the same time that this person is magical, they're always uneducated or disabled or something to that. Or old as hell. Mm. It's never anybody that could do anything to change nothing. Just somebody that's around so that their kids can learn some shit.
Yep.
What was the movie with Will Smith, the golf movie? Damn. But yeah, same shit. Same shit. Levittown killing. I was on social media and I saw multiple people murdered in Bucks County. Then I saw somebody carjacked. Then I saw the accomplice from these two situations was in Trenton, barricaded and had hostages. Then I saw a press conference where the police assured everybody that this house that was being surrounded and people being evacuated from, that's where he was at. They knew he was in there. And then I saw a report that said he wasn't in there. He was down around the corner somewhere else. But they don't know how he got from there to there because he was in there. But, so all that to say, the story initially is just confusing as hell. Who got killed? How many people got killed? Who got carjacked? So this guy carjacked and went to Trenton for what? And then who's he have hostage? Is he about to kill more people? Like, it was a lot. Then they say they got it without incident, which after all of that, I still don't understand, but whatever. But the story comes out that initially he breaks into his folks' house and murders his stepmother and 13-year-old sister. Mm-hmm. Then he takes a car. You can see him getting in the car with like a rifle. He get in his little car and he drives to his baby mom's house, which had his 2 children and others in it, and kills his baby mom. Leaves there, I believe, and carjacks the Honda Jeep. And at some point, that's when he makes his way to Trenton. And then, as much as they thought they knew where he was at, they lost track of him. And then they finally tracked him down. I saw something today that said he was homeless. But he's on, 26 years old?
Yeah, 26.
This is a young man. And I just, like... It's funny when you think about talking about this stuff, then you start talking about it, yo.
Why?
Because it's like, you think that you know what you want to say, and then it becomes hard to say it. Like, I really don't understand why it seems like possibly the women that were the closest to him are the ones that he took out, including that 13-year-old baby. Like, what did your 13-year-old sister do to you? And I hate making excuses. This looks like a mental break. Sounds and feels like a mental break.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But then where do we draw the lines at mental breaks? Like, what's like, I could snap too. You know what I mean? Like, is my temper not a mental break? I don't understand what's the difference to why, like, this is beyond wilding out. Like, all you did was hurt every house that he went to had people in there that had to suffer through that trauma. Every single house had extra people and minors and so forth.
Right. Witnesses.
Yeah. People hiding, people getting hit with guns. Family hid in the closet. You know what I mean? Like, it's so disturbing, and it's like we don't even know much.
Right.
But
I'm sure Netflix will pick it up.
it's not even cool though. Like, I had a homie that got killed when he was in college, right? And I ain't gonna say what school because I don't want to start pointing too many fingers to this story.
Mm-hmm.
His roommate found him. Shortly thereafter, his roommate committed suicide in that apartment. This shit ain't easy to unsee, yo.
No.
It's not like a given, like, oh, you a young man, or you a man, or you done been through shit. Yeah, I might have been through enough shit. We talking about children, grown folks that have lived their life, probably ran their race and all of that. They got terrorized that day. And that's sad as fuck, along with the people that lost their life that I'm sure didn't deserve that.
At all.
I don't even know how much chaos he caused in traffic trying to get from one. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, countless things could have happened within, we just getting the highlights. I don't like it at all, yo. I don't like it, and it bothers me, and this don't even feel like a we gotta do better thing. This feels like, why the fuck, if he had that thing on him, why are they still running around out here? All right, so let's get to the Philly beef.
Oh, more depressing.
You see, I pushed this shit to the end, right? Not the end, but later on, because we ain't done yet. But and I don't even want to. First of all, rest in peace, Fat G's, man. Rest in peace to that young man. It's eerie for me because I'm not making any connections to anything because I don't know any stories. But I've seen Meek and Academics going at it for a while now. And Ak is always out to prove to Meek that he not tough and he ain't gangster and that people in the city don't fuck with him. And lately they've been turning up on each other a lot.
Yeah.
And it's been getting deeper and deeper. And now Ak is on tour to interview every Philly rapper that ever said they don't like Meek or stood next to Meek at some point and don't know more.
Right.
Couple interviews are probably going to be entertaining because a couple of these dudes is actually funny. Like, Quilly is funny as shit. You hate me. But, like, in the middle of all of that, you got people from the city going back and forth with Meek, too. And you got Meek telling folks that he pulling up and he spinning blocks and he in the city and where you at and drop a location and all of that. And then this happens. And I don't know if it's connected to it. But if it's not, then it should be a representation of the fact that this is some bullshit and we can't afford to keep playing with each other like this, yo.
Ugh.
Because for all I know, the way that people talk about Fat G's and the way that he seemed to move and all of that, I don't think you can identify just one group of people that's hurt by this.
Definitely not.
I don't think you get to just isolate that, like, oh, one side got this, the other side. No, it ain't no side when it comes to somebody like that in this city.
Right.
I just seen the video from his prime when he was rocking. And I'm like, damn, I forgot about that. You know what I mean? That was over 9 years ago, I think. Or 9 years ago or something like that. Like, he been home for a while, yo. You don't just be that in this city and it's isolated. Like, this hurts everybody. I was getting phone calls this morning at work. Honestly, I got one from a coworker that was hurt by this and scared for the city. And I start talking about the Meek thing because that's what was going on before this, and Meek responded to it. And he said, you know, during Ramadan while Youngin was fasting and all of that, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is absolutely a fact.
Absolutely.
But bro, I need you to chill too. None of my business and none of that. But your voice is huge, man. And then people in this city make assumptions about who ride with who, and y'all got records together.
You know, and I go to a lot of, you know, city press conferences and things like that. And they always keep saying, like, oh, the murder rate's down this year. You know, it's down by 30% this year.
They always pull that shit.
It definitely does not feel like it. Like, if you ask anybody on the streets right now, nobody feels like the murder rate is down 30%.
What do I say all the time? When you from a city that averages more than 300 bodies a year for over 10 years, everybody's affected.
Yeah.
And everybody's affected damn near every year, if not more. Some more than others.
Yeah.
But whether it's direct, indirect, somebody that you care about lost somebody that they care about, and you got to help them through that.
Right.
You got to usher, cook chicken, whatever have you for somebody else's situation. Like, it gets heavy, man. It gets heavy. It's to the point where a long time ago, I had to make a decision about how I'm going to handle funerals because I try not to really miss many. But it became a burden, a weight to just go to back funerals. So I had to be realistic with myself about if I can handle the whole funeral, if I just need to go to the viewing, if I need to skip the viewing and just do the service. Like, you know what I mean? There's levels to all of that, but I'm never just going to show up for the reception or the repast. Mm-hmm. I'm never doing that unless it's like, yo, where you at? Pull up, like, and it puts me in a position where it's like, you know what, I'll go through. But realistically, like, if I'm not in a position to do that, I got to keep myself away from that sometimes. And
Right.
it doesn't really matter who it is. We fight harder to be there for some people than others, but realistically, if I consider going to your funeral, I want to be there. I want to be able to see you off.
It's tough right now.
I want to be able to pray with your family, indirectly or directly, however, you know, the service go. Like, that's a thing for me, but at the same time, I will come through and do the same thing maybe before your family even hit the church, man. Sometimes I got to just do that. Give you my hour, my half hour at the viewing. It's a thing. It's a thing, man. The city is real. Saw a reaction where the one young boy said, that's why I ain't lived in the city for 4 years, because if you young and you somebody in the city, it's bound to happen. And it's really hard to argue that sometimes.
I hate that for Philly.
It's really hard to argue that sometimes. Because you can move right. Youngin was in front of his crib.
Right.
Somebody pulled up in front of his crib. And I've had that happen to me before.
And I still haven't seen any sort of reports of, like, everything I've seen is just he did not mix with that. He did not.
And he recently was just talking, put the guns down.
Just did a song called No Gun Zone. Oh. Shit's sad.
One thing that I find a little solace in is that he seemed in at least the last few years of his life to be a good example and to be very close to his religion and his God and his beliefs. So I'm pretty sure that his coffin will be spacious, man. I'm pretty sure that hopefully if what we see is what's real, then he ran his race the right way and he'll get where he's supposed to get, man. And that's all. That's. It's sad to even have to speak in that way, but realistically, like that's where I'm at with it because it hurts looking at them pictures of him, man. He had a good energy about him, man. I've seen it. Like he been around for a long time. Anyway, I just want everybody to pump your fucking brakes. Be careful who y'all sit down with. There's a lot of podcasts to go to. Don't come here if you want beef with nobody, because I'm not getting into none of that shit. The city too small. Them niggas will be here before we get off live.
Facts.
And then I gotta deal with it. And I ain't fucking with y'all. But be careful who y'all talk to, man, and realize that a lot of things feel like they never gonna change or you can never fix them. But that's always based on how you handle them. Because time is a motherfucker. And if you live long enough, you'll realize that some things that you thought would always be bullshit, some of that shit can get figured out.
And energy ripples. I mean, if you put out positive energy, that ripples down and creates more positivity. If you put out negative energy, that ripples down and it creates more negativity. And, you know, you just got to be really mindful of where your actions lie, where your energy lies.
And similar to what's going on today, it's a lot of people showing Young in love, right? Fat G's. And what do you want them to say about you when you gone? Even if you were the mindset that like, shit crazy, it's inevitable, something going to happen. Go out here with a good name, man. Go out here with people saying dope shit about you.
Absolutely.
Go out of here with people wanting to paint murals and name streets and tell their kids and keep playing your music or whatever art you added to this world. Even if that's your best man speech. Like, whatever you did, put yourself in a position where people want to share that after you gone, because it's a great representation of the energy that you brought to this world. Because it ain't promised for none of us.
Well,
but I'm not trying to go out here the same asshole I grew up being.
What is true legacy if not that?
I mean, you know what's crazy? Infamy comes in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Infamy comes in a lot of ways, and some of the attention-seeking behavior, where some people don't care how they get attention, whether it's positive or negative. People will go out how they go out as long as they remember it, and it's sad. It's sad because I don't know, my family name too decent to do that. Hopefully yours is too. Sixers talk real quick.
Oh, okay.
Sixers. When's Joel coming back?
I read some headlines that said things are looking good post-surgery. People are pleased with the recovery process.
When do you want him back? Should he sit out the rest or should he come back for the playoffs? If they say he can come back in 2 weeks, what do you say?
I want him to come back, but I want him to come back in a tapered sort of manner. I want him to come back before the playoffs so that he can work up to the playoffs. I do not want him playing 40 minutes his first game back.
I mean, first game, but like, how long do you want him to not play 40 minutes? What are you supposed to? You want to start him at 20 minutes a night? For how long?
For a week.
A week is 3 to 4 games?
Yeah.
2 to 4 games?
2 to 4 games. I want him to be at about 20 minutes for 3 games.
How long do y'all need him to be in rotation for him to be effective in the playoffs?
He is the first 3 quarters.
What I'm saying is for the and this is when healthy, for the dominant player and a versatile player that Embiid is.
Right.
How long does the team need to be able to play with him with the new pieces that they put around since he's been gone? in all actuality for it to work. Like, I don't think it takes that long.
No, I don't think. Oh, you're talking about the cohesion. I don't think the cohesion is going to take long to get there.
Because that's why I'm like, man,
I still think, though, at the end of the day, our team is built around him from an offensive standpoint, and there's not really any way to get around that.
let's talk the new pieces. What you think about them? Who you looking at? Who you impressed with? Who you think y'all could deal?
I mean, I think both of them have great potential value.
Both of who? You talking about Payne and Hill?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they both have great potential value.
Value, trade value, or
Either. I think at this point,
tell you how you could get it.
yeah, you know, like, a lot is going to be told in the next couple of weeks about our Sixers. So, I think that they have value either way.
What's my man name that was shooting at the beginning of the season and then he got hurt?
Oubre?
No, not Oubre.
Melton?
Melton.
Yeah.
Do they make Melton seem like he's expendable, or would you prefer to keep Melton over one of them?
I would still keep.
I put you on the spot there.
I would still keep Melton.
You would keep Melton over either one of those, over Buddy Hield or Payne.
Yeah, I think that both Hield and Payne have more scoring power, but I think that Melton has more consistency.
As a spot up shooter.
Yeah, and just like Melton's in the right spot more often.
I think
Like, he can draw more defense away from our stars.
I think Payne has gotten into a more natural flow with the offense of the Sixers. I think Buddy is still thinking too much.
Yeah.
And I think it's taken away. I think, like, there's that half a second of, like, delay before he does certain things of indecisiveness that you could kind of see. Like, it's kind of, like, right in front of you. You looking at it like, why ain't just go? Or why ain't just pass it? And it happens 2 or 3 times in a quarter. And you like, he don't know his role yet.
Now, I will say
Even when Maxey not on the court. My bad.
Tobias should be nervous.
Tobias has put himself in a position to be a nice little chip to let go of.
Absolutely. Right now, I would keep Payne over Tobias.
If you could keep Oubre.
Yeah,
Gotta keep Oubre if you're gonna do that.
I agree.
Interesting.
But I'm not mad at that.
What about the rotation of y'all bigs? Y'all got
I
Mobamba.
also want to put Reed in for Harris. I think Reed could play Harris's position.
So let Reed come off the wing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that since Embiid has been down, we've seen a lot of shit out of Reed that we ain't know he could do.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a handle like that.
I didn't know he could shoot threes like that.
I didn't know he just pulling up them things like that.
Right.
Like,
Get him on the wing.
this shit just got crazy. Like, why we don't play him next to Embiid?
Right. I want that.
That's what be weird. It's like, yo, let them run together just one. I don't see a sequence with them in the game at the same time. Like, we don't got Mobamba to come off the bench, too.
Right. And that's the thing. I think you can't
I'm
understate
here
how
saying
much.
we.
What? Oh, you're saying we. Haha. You can't understate how well Mobamba is doing as well. I think Mobamba is a much clearer substitute for Joel Embiid in terms of, like, his defensive ability, his, he's big. He has a reach. He's in your face.
And his big ass can shoot, too.
Facts. He's a playmaker.
That's just crazy.
So I think that he is a much more attuned substitution for Joel Embiid. But I think that Paul Reed is a special, underutilized Sixer.
I heard that.
I want to see more of him.
Yeah, I like Reed a lot. I like Mobamba a lot. I like Payne a lot.
And I miss Pat Bev.
Yeah, my geyser. I really like Maxey since the confidence kicked in.
Yeah, his problem right now is he's forced to be the main option, and that also means that he gets the best defender on him at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a difficult position for somebody who it's really his breakout year. It's tough to go from, you know, barely being guarded last year to now being, you know, defense's number one priority in the course of a season. Like, that's just a tough position to be in. So I don't envy that.
Can I give a hot take?
Yeah.
He's in the Kobe position when they got Shaq way earlier in his career.
I like Kobe comparisons, so go on.
And that's just crazy. Like, I don't want to compare him to Kobe, but Youngin done gave out 50, 37, all type of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once he realized, oh, this is what, okay, so I can still do this alongside of what he doing. When he not here, I'm supposed to, okay, no problem.
It's forced him to be consistent. Like, when was the last game that Maxey's played a full game that he didn't get over 25?
No, he been going nuts. And
It's forced that consistency out of him, despite who is on the other side of the basket.
but like he overnight became a shooter.
Facts.
Like Maxey is pulling up from deep consistently.
Regularly.
And it's not even like a thing when he hit it no more. It's like, Maxey on his shit again. Like, I think that Youngin has been very impressive, and he has a hell of an upside. And, you know, he got the character that they like. Everybody talking about a new face for the league. Maybe he can get one of them spots on Billboard.
His
For
smile
real,
is
for
big enough. He'll be good.
That's what I'm saying, man. He with New Balance. Y'all like New Balance.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh.
That was horrible. There was something else I wanted to ask you about. And I can't remember what it was. That's crazy. Anything you were thinking of? Anything comes to mind current from you? I kind of dominate the topics. Most of the time because I don't know that you're going to be the co-host.
Yeah, this was the last minute one.
Yeah, it usually is.
No, I'm chill. I'm good.
Good on the topics.
The only thing I wanted to mention is we do have a sidewalk sale in Fishtown this coming Saturday from 12 to 5. If it's raining, the rain date is Sunday. So come on out. A bunch of our retailers are setting up outside. They have some special deals going on, some special vendors in town, all of that fun stuff.
Dope.
So all along Frankfurt Avenue and East Girard in Philadelphia.
All right. And I will be hosting on 420.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Hotbox.
I will be in the hot box. Shout out to Stereo Sound Sessions. Here we go.
Stereotype
Sound Sessions. Stereotype Sound Sessions. There you go, right there. I'll be hosting. It's from 6 to 10. You know what I'm saying? Hit them up. Tickets is available. I do have a link. If you want the link, I'll drop you the link and all of that. For it's kind of like using code SAM. But yeah, we lit that day. You know, 420. I know it's a lot going on, but from 6 to 10, at some point during that, you want to slide through the hot box. It's a great fucking time. The lineup is dope. The vendors are gonna be awesome. And my man Boogie Mandela and them always throw a good show. So I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to try not to smoke too much too early so I can remember to get back on stage and introduce the next motherfucker. But I'm looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that. Been recording a little bit, so I think I might have finished another 6-pack. Look forward to that. And there's been some K sounds being created, so we're going to figure out how to roll out K. K, where's the K cam? What you think about that?
I don't know about all that.
I don't like that face.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know about Rollout K.
Roll out K. I gotta
That sounds funny.
I gotta talk to HB. We gotta do that fill my cup thing right, man. Get it situated. That's a banger.
Yeah.
It's a banger for sure, for sure.
I plan on taking some time to write over vacation.
Roll out the K. I
That's
like
what the
it.
plane rides are for.
Oh, talk heavy. Talk heavy. She gonna be on trips, writing shit. Yeah, not me. So shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? See y'all on another Monday at 7 p.m. We do this live thing. Shout out to my sponsor, Rich Jules. Shout out to my production and my co-host, K of Font Productions.
Hey.
That's that extra light-skinned lady y'all been seeing all night. And we out this Mickey Ficky, man. See y'all next week.
Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
New episodes drop Thursday at 4 p.m. This is Sippin' with Sammy. I am Mr. Flash, it only the one and only Sippin' with Sammy. Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammy, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together.
It's all the way live. It's all the way live.
Damn, Sammy, you done fucked up.
Fucking yuppie transplants. Move the fuck out. Get out of our fucking city. You ain't even fucking